All right, hello, hello. We are back. Chaos Child tonight again. Um, so let's get started. Let's recap real quick. So our next negative delusion about Hinae was her showing up in our class to eat us while everyone crumbled into maggots. Yeah, we had a weird zombie thing. It's fine. She tried to ask us on a date, and we almost invited everyone like a fool and consulted magazines full of bad advice. We imagined her calling us a virgin when deciding where to eat and the public making a big deal of it. Despite fumbling at every level, we did actually have a sweet moment. Yeah, 100% due to Hinae saving that because we were so nervous and also trying way too hard, man. Someone tried to kill Hinae after the date, and she flashed back to her parents cheating on each other and her brother knowing. The girls want details about the date. Also, they told us our family was hit by the earthquake. We imagined Hinae being a vengeful ninja whose village we forgot we destroyed and her clones melting us with bubbles, and she later called us out on wanting murders to solve. Hinae's experience with the earthquake was witnessing her dying brother admit that her biological father isn't the man who raised her, and her desire for the truth unlocked her psychic power. A student at our school was murdered, so we tried to be protective of Hinae. She kissed her cheek and went on her own, but then she saw her dead brother try to kill her, and we are getting sick of finding corpses. Yeah, we found a lot of them. And I'm guessing we know why. But also, that's a lot of dead bodies to just come across. I don't know that I like this. All right. 4 days had passed since her father had been murdered. Oh yeah, her dad. The body that we found in the park ended up being her dad. So there had been no new developments in the case. All we learned was that he'd been killed somewhere else, and then his body had been dumped there. Shinjo wouldn't tell me any more than that, and neither would Kunosato. Arimura hadn't been back to school since then. I'd tried to contact her several times, but she never responded. Her father was dead. It was easy to assume that she must be depressed. But still, the words she'd said, "It was my brother who did it." I couldn't get them out of my mind. What did she mean? For the last 4 days, I'd been feeling kind of weird. Arimura had said she was attacked by someone at Scramble Crossing, and that was the same night I'd found her father's murdered body. Several other things had happened too. Arimura had almost been pushed down the stairs, and a second-year student at Hekiho had been killed. The student's name was Moe Ishida. She hadn't come to school often and was something of a problem child. From the photo I'd seen, she was a young girl with huge twin tails. Why had she been killed? And what did it have to do with the return of the new generation madness? There was also that headless body that was burned to death. They still didn't know who it belonged to. I didn't know if it had anything to do with the other murders, but it still felt like something awful was creeping up on us. I looked at my phone. Still no word from Arimura. Maybe I'll call her again. Just as I started to pull her number out of my call history, there was a loud knock at the door. What's going on? It was almost 11 o'clock at night. Who could be coming here at this hour? Was it... was it my turn next? No. Go away! Go away! Go away! Go away! There had to be some way. Was there some way to fight back? Right. My power. I had my power. It was no good. Damn it. She'd told me not to use it, and so I hadn't. But if I'd known this was going to happen, I would have practiced. The knocking at the door grew even louder. Now I heard a voice. Please! Huh? That voice. Arimura? I quickly went to the door and looked outside and saw Arimura frantically pounding on the door with tears in her eyes. I quickly opened it and let her in. Miyashiro! Something was wrong with her. She grabbed me, shaking. What's wrong, Arimura? They're chasing me! Chasing you? You mean you were attacked again? She nodded again and again. But who? My brother. It really was your brother? It was. I'm sure of it. After I'd given her something to drink to calm her down and heard what she had to say, she'd told me that it was him for sure. Her family's condo had been destroyed in the earthquake, and so now they lived in Kanagawa. Her father's autopsy had only been completed yesterday, and then she'd gone back there. The funeral was today, and afterward she'd come back to Shibuya with her aunt and uncle. The police had asked her to come back down to the station one more time, where they'd questioned her about her father's relationships. On the way back home, she'd felt someone watching her. And when she'd gotten near a construction site, some of the building materials had gotten loose and fallen down on top of her. She'd been watching her surroundings carefully after all that had happened and just barely seen them in time to duck out of the way. But when she'd looked up, she'd seen him. It was her brother, Shingo Arimura. So I'm sure he was the one who killed Dad, too. But um, he died, right? In the earthquake? That's what she'd said. But he's alive! He's alive and trying to get revenge! Revenge? Why would he want revenge on you? Because he died because of me. Arimura had been out during the earthquake, she said. Her brother hadn't realized that she was gone, and he'd entered the condo building to save her, only to die when it collapsed. Oh. I could tell Arimura blamed herself for that. But that doesn't make sense. Why? Then why would he kill your dad? Because Dad betrayed his family. Arimura didn't tell me how he'd betrayed his family, so I didn't know what had happened. But that didn't change the fact that what she was saying didn't make sense. Oh yeah, survivor's guilt is awful, so she's dealing with some shit right now. Even if he is alive? If he's alive, why does he need to get revenge? That's because... Right? If he survived, he doesn't need revenge. And you said he really loved you, right? So why would he start hating you? But I saw him. That was my brother. Brother, why? No matter how much I tried to persuade her otherwise, Arimura kept insisting that what she'd seen was her brother. Was it really him that she saw? Even if it was someone who looked just like her brother, that didn't explain why they were attacking her, let alone why they'd kill her father. Oh, that's right. I need to apologize to you. Apologize? Why? I didn't know. I didn't know that was your dad. But I still got so... Oh, so I'm sorry. It's fine. It doesn't bother me. It felt like she wasn't just trying to make me feel better. She really meant it. And what's more, I don't really know if I'm sad that he died or not. Arimura? It's so strange. I just don't know. Dad lied to us for years. I don't think I ever forgave him. So part of me thinks that he got what he deserved. Of course, I don't think he had to die like that. Since she didn't tell me, I had no idea of knowing what lie her dad had told. But I could imagine that whatever it was, it left a big impression on her. If nothing else, it was enough to affect her power as a gigalomaniac. I went outside and stretched, and I could feel all the bones in my body popping. I mean, it sounded like he was a good dad outside of the whole cheating thing. So I'm wondering if the lie is just that he wasn't actually her biological father. Which, like, it's hard to hold him accountable for that because he didn't have to be. So, like, he didn't have to stick around and raise her that way. So, I don't know. It was still just past 8. Even at this hour, I could hear people playing basketball at the nearby court. Arimura had ended up sleeping in my bed. After all that had happened, she was mentally exhausted. Exactly, he is the dad who stepped up. Like, it doesn't... Obviously, she is allowed to feel betrayed and all of that. But, like, at the end of the day, if that was his only, sin outside of the cheating thing, like, I don't know, it's really hard to hold him accountable, in my opinion. Um, Even for me, it didn't feel right to wake her up and send her home. And she'd just been through such a scare. I decided to let her sleep. And so I'd ended up trying to sleep on the tiny hard floor and mostly failing. Yeah, she slept in my bed, and then I went to her bed, and then she got stabbed in my bathroom. Um, I decided to go wash my face at the nearby fountain when. Is our bathroom not good enough? When the phone in my pocket began to vibrate. A phone call? It was from Kunosato. Why are you calling this early? Did you learn something? That's a rather rude greeting. I would have reacted the same way to anybody else calling at this hour. I was planning on telling you the police's take on the recent murders, since Shinjo had given it to me. But if you don't need it, never mind. No, wait, I didn't say I didn't need it. I could tell that she wasn't joking. She really was about to hang up the phone. I quickly tried to stop her. Please tell me what you've learned, please. Well, all right. Let's start with the murders modeled after the New Generation case. She meant the first 4 murders, up until Watabe's death. They seem to think that there are several things that can't be explained if it was just Riko Haida acting on her own. In other words, she had someone working with her? Or perhaps she was only responsible for the arson cases and had nothing to do with the murders. If that was true, it would mean that there were multiple people involved and the real killer hadn't been caught. Or maybe whatever organization had built that lab in the basement was responsible. Which meant that Arimura and I couldn't feel safe. No, Arimura had already said she'd been attacked. But... Also, you should know that you two are suspects. Huh? You don't mean me and Arimura, do you? Didn't you hear me? I said you two. Who else could it be? Why would they suspect us? Kakita, Watabe, and now this third case. The police are thinking it's too much to be a coincidence. Okay, yeah, I really can't blame them for that one. We have been involved in a lot of them. But I thought we weren't considered suspects for the murders that had happened so far. For those murders, yes. But the other ones are a different matter. Exactly. Outlaw couple on the lam. You know the victim from the other day? The one from Hekiho? Moe Ishida. I heard she didn't come to school often. That's right. But the girl was supposedly a big fan of Hinae Arimura. Of Arimura? According to Kunosato, who was getting her information from Shinjo, of course, Moe Ishida had been a very quiet student in middle school who didn't really stand out. At school, she would mostly sit in the corner and read books. Arimura's name had shown up in her diary. Arimura was always cheerful and friends with everybody. Arimura had spoken to Moe, too. And that had evidently made her very happy. I mean, the funniest thing about the whole outlaw couple on the lam, you know, Bonnie and Clyde, all of that, is that we literally did that with Serika in the last route. And we were actually on the lam then. Right now, we're just in hot water. After that, Moe had decided that she wanted to be like Arimura. She copied Arimura's hairstyle and started going downtown, where eventually she fell in with a bad crowd and stopped coming to school. But that's not Arimura's fault. A detective's job is to look for connections, no matter how small they might be. And part of the reason is Arimura's actions as well. Arimura's actions? During questioning yesterday, she said that her brother is alive and trying to kill her. She told me the same thing. They seem to think that's evidence of mental instability, and that it may have some bearing on the case. Of course she is. After all that's happened, of course she's going to feel on edge. Several of the victims had already been related to her. Of course, the police had noticed that too. So, what's your take on Hinae Arimura? She looks like she's really stressed out. I see. Well, keep an eye on her. What's wrong? Are you really Kunosato? What do you mean? I mean, I can't believe the real Kunosato would honestly be worried about us. You're lucky we're on the phone. Otherwise, I would beat the shit out of you. Yeah, it really was Kunosato. Anyway, keep a close eye on Hinae Arimura's activities. There's no telling what someone will do when they panic. That was all Kunosato said before she hung up. Okay, I can't help it. Like, I don't like Kunosato, but there's a part of me that does really like her character. Um, I don't know. She's kind of fun. Hironori Kakita, Moe and Arimura's dad. In the sense that she was the first to find the body, there was also Watabe. Exactly, she's very fun to hate. Also, she's the only one who threatens to beat the shit out of people somewhat regularly, so... It was true that too many of the victims were related to Arimura. Maybe it was natural for the police to suspect her. Miyashiro? Oh. She must have woken up. Arimura smiled in relief and ran over to me. Exactly. She's insufferable, but we do enjoy clowning on her, so... She's just fun. You weren't there when I woke up, so I wondered where you'd gone. Arimura still didn't look great, but she seemed to have calmed down since yesterday. I'm sorry. I fell asleep somehow. No, it's fine. Just... What are you going to do now? I'm going home. My aunt and uncle are probably worried about me. I see. I'll walk you part of the way. Even if she'd calmed down, I didn't feel safe sending her back alone. She must have felt the same way because she just nodded. Why don't we offer to walk her the whole way? Anyway, I hate Sundays. There's so many people around. Yeah. Hey, did you know? A while ago, Ito... I tried to keep up as much meaningless small talk as I could while we headed towards Arimura's home. Even with all the murders, it was still the weekend, and there was only a week to go until the festival. The whole town was in a state of excitement. It was a good thing for us. Arimura was gradually starting to smile again, in fact. Did Ito really do that? Sometimes. I don't know about that guy. Okay, Miyashiro, I can go the rest of the way on my... Suddenly, Arimura froze. Brother. Huh? I quickly spun around, but I didn't see anyone. Arimura? No. Brother? Calm down, Arimura. He's not there. I grabbed her by the shoulders, and I could feel that she was shaking. But he's right there! She was pointing at a mannequin in a store window. There was nothing else there. Let's just go home. I'll walk you all the way. November 2nd, 2015. Monday. The next day, Arimura came to school and... Ciao, city, guys. She was back to normal. Morning. Oh, good morning. Hey. Hi. I love how, like, apparently Serika isn't one of the guys, but Nono is? I don't know. Yeah, that's true. Like, it was very easy that Byakuya could have a one-sided crush on us as Makoto, because as Makoto, we were just pathetic. And Byakuya very clearly did not. But, yeah. Yeah, it's true. Like, Takeru is way too pathetic for Mio crushing on him to actually be plausible. I'm glad to see you guys are getting along so well. Maybe I'll quit the lit club and join the newspaper club. What are you talking about? You're basically a member already, right, Taku? Yeah, you're right. Really? Alright, maybe I will join. Wait, are you allowed to be in 2 clubs? Of course. Just fill out the paperwork and it's fine. I know, Serika should be one of the guys. She's part of us. I don't know why Nono would be, like, class president. I see. Well, if you do join, that gives you an excuse to be with Miyashiro. What? We're not really... Oh, God. Shut up, Taku. Oh, come on. No blushing. No blushing. You don't get to say that. I hadn't seen Arimura this chipper in a while. It felt a little forced, sure, but it was still a good sign. Oh, right. Did you hear that they're adding a chocolate bar to Hikario? Huh?
A chocolate bar? You mean the one where if you get a winning bar, you get another one? No, that's a Choco Bats.
Choco Bats is a chocolate-covered bat-shaped stick of fried dough that's been loved in Japan for 50 years. Not only is it cheap, there's a removable sticker on the back. If your sticker says hit or home run, you get another one for free.
A chocolate bar is like a restaurant, right?
Where you can eat in?
Yeah, that's the thing. Once it opens, we can all.
And then she stopped. I had a bad feeling.
Hina? No.
She froze.
No!
Arimura? I quickly grabbed her before she could fall over. Hey, what's wrong?
She passed out.
Takara, take her to the nurse's office right now. Yeah. As I picked her up, I glanced in the direction she'd been looking. Hey, what happened? Kawahara was standing there. He'd happened to be passing by and was looking at us in surprise. There was no one else around.
Taka, what did they say about Hina?
She's just a little tired, they said. They're going to let her rest for a while.
I see.
I knew what had happened. She'd seen him again. Maybe she'd mistaken Kawahara for her brother.
Takara, did something happen with Arimura?
What do you mean?
She was acting a little strange, I think. Yeah, I thought so too. She felt more forced than she usually does.
Seriously? I had no idea. And this is why I love Ito. Was it okay to tell them? Even Kazuki had stopped playing SO2 and come over to me with a look of concern on her face. What is it, Kazuki? Are you worried too? All right. I told them all everything that had happened to Arimura over the past few days. That she said her brother was still alive. That he was trying to get revenge on her.
Hey.
It was Serika who spoke first.
Is Hina's brother really alive? No, I heard he was dead.
But she thinks he is, right? There we go. Everyone else is a gigglomaniac. Ito is just on the autism spectrum. Look, he's doing his best. Like, I don't think that we would have solved as much of the case as we did without Ito, but he deserves so much better than the last route. Yeah, I can see that. Both Ito and Kazuki. I don't know. But what I do know is that these murders keep happening around her. If there were dead bodies, that means somebody had killed them.
I think that maybe we should look into her brother some more.
But how?
He died in the earthquake, right? That means...
I went with Kurusu's suggestion and visited the earthquake memorial with Serika. The memorial bore the names of everyone who died in the quake. I was worried about Arimura, but Kurusu said she'd take her home. It was probably safe to let her handle it.
Well, Taka?
Wait a second. I'm pretty sure... His name was supposedly Shingo Arimura. Looking at the memorial, I was reminded of how many people had died during the earthquake. My parents, Serika's parents, and Kurusu and Yui's parents all had their names here too. I need to know, like... So if Serika's parents supposedly had their... Like, have we ever seen Serika's parents' names on here? Did Serika's parents have names? Like... Yeah, he is like Jacob from the quarry. He's not really a great guy, but he does... I mean, there's nothing wrong with Ito other than... He's a teenage boy. Which isn't, like, great. Because he does get us into things that we should not be getting into. But also, like, he's not bad. Yeah, if we are Serika's parents, like, our name shouldn't be on the memorial. But, like, have we ever checked to see what Serika's parents' names were on the memorial? Like, that seems like a weird plot hole. Anyways, Kurusu and Yui's parents all had their names here, too.
Arimura. Oh!
Did you find it?
Yeah, it's right here.
Shingo Arimura. From the age when he died, it was safe to assume that this was him. But this didn't mean anything for sure. The damage from the Shibuya earthquake had been incredible. Some people had been declared dead without their bodies ever being found. And in some cases, those people had later been found committing crimes. So to be sure, Oh, you're here already? Sorry to keep you waiting. Sorry for having you come out here so quickly. I contacted Shinjo and had him meet me here. No, it's better for me to know as much as possible about the case, even if it's something small. Lately, I've been starting to think that Detective Shinjo might be a lot better at his job than he looked. Of course, maybe people like him never really fit into an organization and couldn't grow to their full potential. I mean, look, he's trying to solve one of Setika's crimes. Like, girl is a goddamn mastermind here. There we go. Takaru had a Kingdom Hearts phase. The name of Setika's parents are just anagrams of his given name and surname with X mixed in. Perfect. Exactly it. So, you wanted to ask about Hinae Animura's brother, right? Yeah. I'll make it quick. Her brother Shingo is dead. You're sure? We're sure. He died when his family's condo building collapsed during the Shibuya earthquake. The body was identified by a family member.
Did Hina, see his body?
I can't tell you if she herself saw the body, but I can tell you for sure that he's dead. I see. So he wasn't just declared dead when they couldn't find his body then. I have a photo too. Want to take a look? I looked at it just in case, but I was surprised to find that he didn't really look like Arimura. I'd never seen him before.
So when Hina says her brother's alive,
I guess it's just her imagination after all. Or perhaps... Well, with all that's going on around her and what happened with her dad, I can understand if she's in pretty bad shape. Her mom's not doing so well either. I see. You're her friends. Keep an eye on her. Shinjo seemed to think he might gain some clue by hearing what we had to say about Arimura, but he ended up going back to the station with barely anything to show for it. He didn't tell us anything about the police considering her as a suspect. I mean, the police consider us as a suspect too, so... By the time I got home that day, the sun had set. I'd stopped to buy some Mountain Dew at the convenience store like always. When I opened the door, bag in hand, I realized that something was wrong. Someone's in here? I could sense someone in the back of the dark room. Could it be... Could it be that I was next? Who's there? I was sure of it. Someone was there. Yeah, I mean, it's a possibility that Shingo could have an identical twin brother that Hinae saw die in his place. Or that maybe they just have a brother that looks a lot like Shingo that they don't know about because their parents were having extramarital affairs. Like, I know you're there. Come on out. I tried to yell loudly to make myself feel stronger, but it didn't work. A figure slowly stood up in the darkness, and the next moment it charged at me. It was so sudden I couldn't move. Huh? No! There was no time to get away! Miyashiro! Arimura? Arimura leapt into my arms. Why? Kurisu had said she'd taken her home.
am I not allowed to be here? I'm too scared to be anywhere else.
Scared? But won't your aunt and uncle worry?
It's fine. They want to be rid of me anyways.
Was that something she knew?
So please, please let me stay here.
But
is that okay?
There were tears in her eyes. For the old Arimura, that might have been an act. But now? I don't know. I'm still suspicious. There's something weird about this. Interesting. Well, you can make up more headcanons about them. Fine.
Really?
This wasn't an act.
Oh, right. Come inside, quick.
Huh? You don't have to rush me.
I know. Are you sure nobody followed you here?
I don't think so. Is she gonna murder us?
I see. But be careful, okay? Oh, also, do you have anything to put up, like duct tape or something?
Duct tape? For what?
We're going to put it on the windows and cracks so my brother can't get in.
What are you talking about? He can't come in through. At first, I thought she was joking and laughed. But then I saw she was serious.
You see? There's a little gap there, and over there, too. If we don't tape up the gaps, he'll get in somehow.
Arimura. She'd told me before that her brother was alive and bent on revenge. But now I realized that it didn't matter whether he was alive or not. Yeah, maybe you went. Hey, time travel is still possible. Like, if not before going back in time, maybe in the future you'll go back in time and write the scenario for this game. I don't know how you would have experienced it and then gone back in time, but time paradoxes I'm sure exist. Her brother was after her. That was all that mattered. Fine, fine. We can do that tomorrow. It's too late tonight. She was still scared, but I managed to calm her down enough that she dropped the subject. But even as it got later, all she did was look outside and shiver. Morning came without either of us getting much sleep. November 3rd, 2015, Tuesday. Hmm. Hmm. I met the morning with the sound of a chirping sparrows and the quiet snoring of a girl. I'd always thought that if anything ever happened to me, it would be wonderful. Who would have ever imagined that it would feel like this? She'd only just fallen asleep, and it was already 10 a.m. I was worried about leaving her here by herself, but there was something I wanted to check. Apparently not school, so...
Your girl's already here.
What?
It's a different girl than last time. For someone with such a stupid face, you do pretty well for yourself.
I don't... No, that didn't matter. There was no harm in letting her have the wrong idea. I needed to do what I'd come here for first. Just like the waitress had said, the person I was here to meet had already arrived. She was reading something and frowning, like always. You're late, considering it was you who asked me to come here. She looked up from her book and spoke to me curtly. Uh, I'm sorry. So, what did you want to ask me about? I sat down and ordered, and she got straight to the point. It was clear that she didn't want to waste any time on small talk. Um, you're supposed to know a lot about the brain and the mind, right, Kunosato? I don't supposedly know anything. My research specialty is brain science. Then I'd like your opinion as a specialist. Arimoto's actions over the past few days had gone well beyond what anyone would consider normal. No matter how much I tried to convince her that her brother was dead, she refused to believe. No, it felt like she didn't even want to believe. Arimoto was the only one who had seen her brother to begin with. None of us had seen him, which meant that maybe it was all in her head after all. But then, what was the cause? I could have looked it up on the internet, but not with Arimoto in the room. And it was better to ask a specialist than just trying to figure it out based off of some web pages. The biggest factor is probably psychological stress. Kunosato furrowed her brow when I finished talking to her. But is that enough to cause her to get so scared? I haven't spoken to her personally, so this is just one possibility, but it could be a type of obsessive compulsive disorder, or OCD. The inability to stop from repeatedly thinking certain thoughts or performing certain actions. Sometimes symptoms can be harmless, like an inability to stop thinking about whether you locked the door after you left, but severe cases can leave sufferers unable to live normal lives. The causes are thought to lie in a person's personality or external stress, but the exact cause is unknown. OCD? You should know that criminal psychology isn't my specialty, but... She warned me before she continued. It's rare, but sometimes people who have murdered someone become terrified of that person's ghost. Ghost? That would be Arimura's brother in this case. Arimura felt so guilty over her brother's death that she was hallucinating that she was seeing him. That was fine. Well, no, it wasn't fine, but it was fixable. But there was another possibility that I was afraid of. The idea had suddenly come to me last night. If I said it aloud, if I gave it shape, something might change, and in a bad way. Then, for example, despite my premonition, I couldn't keep myself from saying it. They could take revenge for someone who died without even realizing it. Is that possible? Kunosato must have understood exactly what I meant. She put down her coffee cup and looked at me.
You're not telling me that you think Arimura killed her father in her brother's place, are you?
I'm just asking if it's possible.
It's not impossible.
I see. I'd been feeling that way ever since I'd seen her last night. She'd said that her brother had died because of her, but she also said that it was her mom and dad's fault. Perhaps Arimura blamed herself for her brother's death so much that she started hallucinating visions of him. And maybe that started to escalate until unconsciously she thought that she was her brother, and then she killed her father. Of course, she'd said she'd been attacked too. In that case, she would be lying, but yeah, this could be some like repressed memory type thing. When the thought had first come to me, it had seemed impossible. I tried to tell myself that I was overthinking things. But once a thought came to you, it was impossible to be rid of it. The more you told yourself not to think about it, the more you started to think that maybe it was true. What was the truth? And what was a lie? I'm the one who wants to know.
Miyashiro!
Arimura left into my arms as soon as I opened the door.
How could you leave me like that? Where did you go?
Sorry, I went shopping and stuff. I figured we'd need some things. You're hungry, right? I took out the sandwiches and rice balls I'd bought at the convenience store.
I got worried when you just vanished.
It's fine. Huh? No, it's nothing. Don't think about it. It's impossible. It's
Were you careful?
careful of what?
Careful that my brother didn't find this place.
I told you it's fine. Nobody is chasing after you.
But he's looking for me, so.
I looked away. I couldn't do it. I couldn't bear to see her like this. I grabbed Arimura by the shoulders and looked straight into her eyes.
Miyashiro?
Listen, Arimura, your brother is dead. I checked with the police. He's dead. And the dead don't come back to life.
But. But he attacked me. It's true.
Arimura,
You don't believe me? You think I'm lying?
that's not true. I believe you. I believe you, but. Arimura looked at me with her eyes wide. It was only then that I'd realized I'd made a terrible mistake.
You're lying.
Arimura.
You don't believe me, do you?
Arimura shook off my hands, and tears began to pour down from her big eyes. No, Arimura, that was.
No!
I tried to calm her down, but she smacked my hand away.
So even you're lying to me now, aren't you?
Arimura,
You're lying to me too, just like Dad and Mom and my brother.
listen to me. Arimura.
No, I don't want to hear it. I don't want.
Arimura! She slipped past my hands and ran out of the RV. And she ran out of the park without looking back. I probably should have chased after her, but I hesitated. If it was Arimura who killed her dad, when I thought about that, I couldn't follow her. Hey, Taku. Awful loud in here. What's going on? Gang. By the way, I brought you another one. Gang, I'm sorry, but not now. What? Come on, I brought it for you special. You can pay me later. I said not now. Just leave. Taku. What was I doing? Was Hinae Arimura was in a hospital room. It took her a while to figure out what she was doing lying in a hospital bed. But when she did, she remembered everything that had happened. She wanted to believe it was a dream, but the bandages around her body and the pain from her injuries told her that it wasn't.
Where are Mom and Dad?
She looked around for her parents. She staggered out of bed and finally saw them in the hallway. They were each talking to someone on the phone and trying to hide from the other as they did. Hinae could tell that they were talking to their lovers. How could they be doing that now, when her brother was dead?
How can you do that at a time like this, Mom?
The next thing she knew, she was taking her anger out on her mom.
Hina, I'm glad you're awake.
That was a lie.
Brother's dead! How can you do this? Calm down, Hina. Mom's making an important phone call. So,
That was a lie.
why? Why didn't you save my brother? He was still alive! If you'd come with me, we might have saved him. Why didn't you come with me? We tried to save him, of course, before you came, but we couldn't.
That was a lie.
Then why did you say it was too late? We didn't want you to get hurt. We thought you'd go inside if we didn't tell you that. You're lying! Hina?
Hinae had grabbed her mom before she even knew it.
You're lying! You're lying! You're lying! All you do is lie! Everything you say is a lie! Hina, stop it! Why do you lie so much? Why don't you tell the truth? I don't want to hear all these lies! Stop lying and tell me! Tell me the truth! Why did you let my brother die? Why did you kill him? Tell me! Tell me! Tell me!
Fault. It was the first time she'd seen her mother's face like that. It was a scary face with all the false kindness wiped away. It was a woman's face.
It's all your fault. Shingo went inside because he thought you were there. If he had known you weren't in there, he never would have gone inside. And you want to know why we didn't save him? It's all your fault in the first place.
That was the truth. It was the first true thing her mother had told her. And that truth destroyed her.
My fault.
Shingo had gone out to buy a present for Hinae, just like she had done. And then the earthquake had happened. He'd run back home, found the building half collapsed, and then ignored his parents' warnings and gone inside. Oh, absolutely. We should have been able to avoid this. But we did not. He believed that she was there. And that's how he'd been killed.
It's my fault. It's my fault.
The whole world shook. Everything she knew fell apart. And then, Hinae lost everything.
Do you need something from our class?
Oh, no, is Arimura here?
She didn't come to school today.
I see. Thanks. The next day, just like I thought, Arimura hadn't come to school. It was after school, and the clubroom was still empty. Was it really Arimura who'd killed her parents? Maybe I needed to go back over everything that had happened, just to get it clear in my head. First, the data and locations of the New Generation Madness murders. There were 4 murders. Don't Look at Me in Jinnang, Leaky Noise in Shinseng, and then Revolving Dead at Fairy's Dance, a place I would never forget. There was the Gotsuan death case, which had also occurred right in front of us. Yeah, good so far. The problem was what came next. All of the murders after Gotsuan death, there were 3 victims. The first victim was, that's right, a headless body that was burnt to death. The next victim was Moe Ishida, a student at Hekiho Academy. And finally, Koichiro Arimura, Hinae Arimura's father. That was the order. Just like I thought. Looking back at the cases, it was clear that there was no relationship between the first murders and the last 3. The first 4 cases had been extremely bizarre. The latter ones were brutal, but fairly ordinary. And more than anything, there were the sumo stickers. I'd been so relieved that they were gone that I'd been slow to pick up on it, but there were no sumo stickers anywhere to be found near the sites of the last three murders. In other words, they were two completely separate groups. And Moe Ishida had been a huge fan of Hinae Arimura. Koichiro was her father. In a broad sense, these two were both related to Arimura. Then there was the headless burnt body. They hadn't identified the body yet, but maybe, which means that I was right. I turned around at the sound of the door opening and saw Kazuki standing there. Oh, it's you, Kazuki. I thought about getting a second opinion, but with Kazuki that wouldn't be possible. I went to turn back to the board, and I realized that Kazuki was staring at me. What's wrong? Surprisingly, Arimura had taken a liking to the silent Kazuki, and Kazuki didn't seem to mind her either. The two of them had built up a unique friendship. Maybe Kazuki was worried about Arimura too. Maybe. Huh? What was that? Did Kazuki talk? Hey, Kazuki, did you... Come to think of it, she'd talked once before. Last time it had felt like she'd been so caught up in Arimura's energy that she'd spoken without thinking. No, that didn't matter. Kazuki, what did you...
It might be my fault, maybe.
This time I could hear her clearly. What do you mean, it's your fault?
We were talking about Hina's brother, and it might be because I asked. Maybe.
Asked what?
If she wanted to see her brother.
I had no idea what Kazuki was talking about. Why would it be her fault for asking if Arimura wanted to see her brother? Kazuki, you have to explain to me or I won't understand. What do you mean?
I'm a psychic too.
Oh shit. A psychic? Wait. A psychic... Do you mean a gigalomaniac?
Mm,
You...
mm.
I...
I asked if she wanted to see her brother, and that's why she's seeing him. She's nice, so I wanted to talk to her too. But I might have done something awful again, maybe.
Not only was Kazuki not used to talking, but she was sobbing too. It was hard to get anything out of her. But I understood what she was trying to say. Arimura was seeing her brother because Kazuki had asked if she wanted to see him. And that this was because of her power as a gigalomaniac. I know. We thought she was... Kazuki. Of course, it was possible that Kazuki was joking or mistaken. But from the look of things, it didn't seem that way. Which meant what Arimura was saying was true? I didn't know if the brother she'd seen had really killed her father, but some power of Kazuki's had caused Arimura to see her brother. It wasn't a hallucination or a mistake. But then, who had killed her father? Miyashiro! Yeah, Ito is pretty much the only non-psychic in the club. So that's super fun. Let's find out about his power, too. Maybe he's a psychic as well. Suddenly, the door burst open and Ito rushed inside. What? I'm thinking now. We can talk later. I guess you don't know then, huh? Some right-setter you are. I don't know what. No, you're thinking, right? We can talk later. Don't be a dick, man. Tell me. You mean please tell me, right? Now is not the time, Ito. Fine, I'm sorry. Please tell me what happened. You don't sound like you mean it. Okay, this can't be that bad, right? If he's doing this to us? Asshole. Just before I started to get really mad, though, the door opened once more and Sirika ran in.
Hey, Taka, did you hear? There's been another case.
Oh no, I don't... A new case? Do you mean...
Yeah, a murder.
It couldn't be.
That was what I was just about to say.
I ignored that idiot Ito and ran up to Serika. I called back, but she didn't answer. I ended up almost grabbing her. Serika looked a little scared.
Huh? Um,
Just tell me, who was killed?
I think it was a woman in her 40s.
Huh? A woman in her 40s? It wasn't Arimura's mom, right?
Huh? Hina's. But why? No, if it was, I would have told you sooner. I'm not that much of a dick.
Yeah, I don't know if Ito's under mind control or not. Like, none of that part of the plot has happened, so it wasn't. And we've stopped having the text messages, so I don't know. Then it wasn't someone who was related to Arimura? Did it have nothing to do with the others, or apparently the only 40-year-old woman we think could be related to Arimura is her mom. A phone call. Could it be Arimura? I grabbed the phone out of my pocket and looked at the name on the screen. But it wasn't who I hoped it was. Miyashiro, it's Shinjo. I could hear tension in his voice, and it scared me. Why are you calling? Just a few hours ago, there was another murder in Shibuya. Did you hear about it? It was a woman in her 40s named Hinako Minami. Yeah, we were just talking about it. We have a suspect in the murder. A suspect? Who is it? Listen carefully. On the 25th, Moe Ishida was murdered. Then on the 26th, Koichiro Arimura was killed as well. And then last night, Hinako Mikami was killed. The suspect in all these murders is Hinae Arimura's mother. Well,
Any luck, Takara?
no good. She's not picking up. Yeah, seriously, we get a call from Sakuma through a voice filter taunting about the murders and just go, not now, I'm dealing with girl issues. Come on, Dad. Caruso and the others had arrived in the club room afterwards, and I filled them in on the situation. We tried to call her, but with no luck. Maybe she didn't want to answer my calls. Damn it, it's my fault. I got suspicious of her.
Now's not the time for that, is it? That's right. We need to find out where she is.
But she's not picking up her phone, and I don't know where she is. At this rate.
But we have to do something. Let's think of a way.
A way. There was no way. And then someone handed me a phone. Kazuki?
She picked up. Maybe. It's Hina.
Huh? I grabbed the phone and put it up to my ear.
Hello? Hello?
Arimura, it's me, Miyashiro.
Miyashiro?
Wait, don't hang up. Listen to me. I'm sorry I doubted you. You weren't wrong. I was wrong. So I'm sorry, really.
Miyashiro.
Can we meet somewhere? I want to tell you something in person. Oh my god. Can we please tell her that her mom is murdering people?
Not now.
Why?
I'm about to meet my mom.
Oh my god. Huh?
We can meet after that.
Wait, Arimura, don't go. You can't. Yeah.
Taku, where's Hina?
She hung up. I think she can if I remember the previous arc. I think she can detect lies over the phone, as long as they're said out loud. But I think you have to say them out loud in order for her to be able to detect. But I could be wrong. That last arc was very long, so. I called back, but she didn't answer. She either wasn't getting a signal or she'd turned off her phone. Either way, we had no way of contacting her. She said she's meeting with her mother. Huh?
Oh, wait, that's bad, isn't it?
Do you know where? I didn't have time to ask.
Do you have some clue? Some place they would have gone together or that was important to them?
Don't be stupid. She wouldn't meet with her mother at a place like... Wait. I thought I'd heard...
Taku?
I'd heard a sound on the other side of the phone. That was probably. Yeah, there we go. They're just meeting in our little RV. I remembered my conversation with Shinjo as I ran. Arimura's mother? You mean her mother was the killer? We're sure about Moe Ishida and the cases after that, and we're pretty sure about the burnt body as well. Sedika and the others had insisted I put the phone on speaker mode. I did that before I continued. But why would her mom? Did you know that the Arimura family was essentially dysfunctional? Yeah, more or less. It was easy to imagine after what Arimura had told me. Both Arimura's mother and dad, don't know why it's mother and dad, had separate lovers who they spent almost all their time with. But suddenly, Megumi Arimura, her mother, had a falling out with her lover of 10 years last month. After that, she supposedly began to act strangely. At first, she felt hatred towards her lover for abandoning her, and eventually she started to direct that hate towards her family and husband. If she'd had a happy home life, if her husband hadn't been such a failure, she never would have had an affair in the first place. At least that's what she said. But that's. Kurusu raised her voice in anger at Arimura's mother's selfish actions. Eventually, it escalated to the point where she began to hate her daughter, Hinae. But why? According to her, because Hinae Arimura was the thing that tore her family apart, and also the reason she broke up with her lover. Arimura's real father was her mother's lover. Of course, her dad knew this. Her birth had caused a rift in the Arimura family. It had essentially ceased to be a family at all. What was worse was the strange power that Arimura had. She seemed to have it under control now, but at first, she hadn't known how to handle it. As a result, her mother had come to fear and loathe her. Megumi Arimura became psychologically unstable. She killed her ex, chopped off his head, and set the body on fire. So that was the first murder. Then she planned to take revenge on the people she blamed for her problems, her husband Koichiro and her daughter Hinae. The police believed the second victim, Moe Ishida, was mistaken for Hinae and killed. And now she's escaped the police, and we think that she's plotting her daughter's murder. It was her mother, Megumi Arimura, who'd killed her father. And now her mother was trying to kill her, too. And then there were the phantoms of her dead brother. Damn it. I may have done something terrible. All I could do now was find Arimura as fast as possible and stop her from meeting with her mom. My lungs were already at their limit. My lack of exercise had caught up with me, and my legs weren't doing what I told them to. But I had to keep going, because I was sure. I think what I heard was Arimura was probably around here somewhere. Why? I heard her. That voice was definitely Arimura's.
Why, Mom?
Where? Where was she?
Of course. Because it's your.
Over there.
Mom?
I looked for my mom where she said she'd be. I was so surprised when she'd suddenly texted me.
I'd never thought that she'd actually want to see me. At first, I thought there was no way I'd ever meet her. I couldn't believe what she said either. I was so sad to lose your father that way. But maybe she really meant it. I hadn't talked to my mom in a long, long time. Mom had started avoiding me when she realized I had the power to tell when she was lying. So I didn't know what had happened to her and Dad since then, and I didn't care. I'd figured that after my brother's death, they hadn't tried to get back together. They both split off to do their own thing. But maybe she'd changed. Maybe Dad's death had made her rethink things. So I decided to do what she hoped I would. It was the last wish I had left. So I'd come to meet my mom. And I'd immediately regretted it. I'm happy that you came. She really meant it. I've wanted to see you for so long. She meant that, too. Now that Dad's gone, you're the only person I care about.
A lie.
From now on, you'll be together with me forever.
A lie.
Now come closer so I can see your pretty face. Lie. 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 All lies. Hey, Mom?
I said.
Why do you always lie like that? I'm not lying. I really. You're lying! I can tell you're not telling the truth. Why are you saying that, Hina? Your mom loves you so much. That's a lie, too.
Mom looked surprised for a second, but then she looked down at her feet and didn't say anything. Maybe I'd said too much?
Mom? Fine. I'll tell you the truth then. Mom,
Was this her real voice?
it's your fault.
This was her real voice.
If it hadn't been for Shingo in the first place, I never would have had to marry your dad.
Mom's words.
But you were his child, so I took care of you. But when you were born, it ruined my life.
Totally true.
I never should have had you, or Shingo. A creepy girl like you should have never been born.
She was telling the truth.
So disappear. Just go away.
The words I wanted to hear. The words I didn't want to hear.
You know, that's what Shingo wants. Brother? That's right. Your brother comes to me every day. He says it hurts. He says he didn't want to die.
Yeah, like, I have a little bit of sympathy for her, considering the fact that, like, I know what it's like to be a woman in Japan, and the fact that I know that she would not have had really a lot of options to get out of any of this kind of stuff. So, like, I have some sympathy. But yeah, she's not in the running to be best girl anytime soon. We'll just put it that way.
Brother, it's all your fault and his fault. It's his fault I got married when I didn't want to. It's your fault my family was ruined. You stole my happiness. It's all your fault. Because you were born. Because a monster like you was born. That's why he.
She was telling the truth. This was the truth that I wanted to hear. But if this was the truth, then I.
You understand how I feel, right? So, you know?
Mom took something out from her bag. The towel it was wrapped in fell off, and I could see a little bit of sunlight glinting off the exposed metal. Even if I knew what it was, I couldn't move. The truths that I'd just heard had shocked me so much that I couldn't move.
When you're gone, I can be happy.
Mom smiled. It was the first time I'd seen her real smile.
Mom. Bye-bye, Hina.
She came closer. She looked so happy. There was nothing I could do but wait for her embrace. Arimura should be around here.
It's all your fault.
That voice.
It's all your fault. It's all because a monster like you was born. Mom.
It was Arimura's. I ran towards the voice, and under the dimly lit bridge, in an empty space with nothing but the sound of the trains, Arimura was there.
When you're gone, I can be happy.
There was a woman standing in front of her. She was so tired she looked very aged, but she was probably in her early 40s. The woman took something out of her bag.
Mom. Bye-bye, Hina.
When the woman started walking towards Arimura, I knew everything. At this rate, Arimura would be killed. But from where I was standing, I couldn't reach her. Damn it! She was right in front of me. Was I just supposed to let her die? Damn it, damn it, damn it! Arimura! I screamed as loud as I could, but... Gah! The woman didn't hear my voice. She held the blade in front of her and began to run. Huh? And then I saw something in the corner of my eye. I... Oh, I'm torn here because I don't know if we want to kill her mom in front of her. I think that might, not be great. It was a D sword. Yeah, go, go, gadget, the sword.
There was a loud noise, and the woman suddenly recoiled backwards. Then she grabbed her ears and fell to her knees. Red drops fell from between her fingers. Was that my power? My power had caused her earrings to move, ripping them out of her ears.
So there's two Hinae ends. I thought there were two bad ends. There's a bad end and a good end. So there's two ends total. This is, I'm assuming, one of the bad ends. Um,
But it only held her back for a moment. She glared at Arimura and charged with the blade once more. Arimura! Miyashiro!
I flung myself between them. Oh, that's not going to end well for us.
The sound of a train. The warning bells as the crossing bars lowered. Light and shadow intersecting. And a burning pain. Miyashiro! Miyashiro! Ah! I heard footsteps somewhere deep in my head. Arimura's mother had probably come back to her senses after stabbing me and then run off somewhere. Girl, you should have just stabbed Tina at the same time. Like, how am I teaching you how to be a serial killer? Um, but the pain was so strong that I couldn't look to see. Arimura. I must have passed out without realizing it, because the next thing I knew, Arimura was cradling my head in her lap. Stay put, Miyashiro! I'll call an ambulance! I'm sorry, Arimura. I softly rubbed her cheek. Her pretty pale skin was stained dark red with my blood. Why are you apologizing? Because I didn't believe you.
Yeah, that's true. She's not sane, probably not thinking efficiently. Like, good fucking luck trying it now. Everyone knows who you are.
Miyashiro, if you can forgive me, then just one more time. Arimura? Was she crying? I... I'm the one who's sorry. I shouldn't have run off like that. You tried to save it. You tried to save me until the very end, and I... Arimura. So please, don't die. Arimura's tears wet my cheeks.
Yeah, one last kiss. It can be on the cheek. We'll take it. Forehead, too. I think forehead would be good.
The tears fell in great numbers, rolling off my cheeks and hitting the ground. Arimura. But I was already... Arimura, I... Hmm. When I woke up from my sleep, I saw the face of the person I'd been dreaming of and panicked. Huh? Was I asleep? Miyashiro? What, you're awake? I'm sorry. I kind of passed out while I was waiting for you. It's fine. You don't need to worry about it. He was always so nice to me. So sometimes I wanted to let him spoil me. What? Miyashiro, you're really nice, aren't you? What are you talking about? I'm not. No, you're nice. You came to save me after all.
Is Hana using her powers and making a delusion of us? Because that's my guess right now.
That was because I was worried about you. Hey, Miyashiro? What? Does it hurt, your injury? Well, sometimes, but it's nothing. I'm sorry. It's my fault. It's not your fault. How many times do I have to tell you? No, it really is my fault. My heart was weak. That's why... Arimura. But I realized something. You can't divide the world up into truth and lies. The world is half truth and half lies, and we have to accept that. Otherwise, you just can't keep going. If I'd found that out earlier, My mom had been arrested shortly after that. An officer at a police box had seen her staggering down the street, covered in blood, and taken her in. She'd lost her mind to the point where they weren't even sure she could stand trial. But she'd have to go to some hospital, Shinjo had said. It was her own fault that this had happened to her. But part of it was my fault, too. I would have to carry the burden of that truth for the rest of my life. But you know now, right? Huh? That the world was half lies and half truth. Yeah. Then it's fine. As long as you know that, you can keep going forward.
Yeah, that's not us. I've voiced us for long enough to know that's not us.
Right.
Yeah, it also does feel too neat and tidy to be a bad end, so.
Miyashiro would always tell me the path that I needed to follow. So Miyashiro, I have a request. What is it? Can you give me a kiss? What? Do you not want to? No, it's not that, but... Hey, you... If those words are true, it's okay, right? If you kiss me? That's... Huh? Hana, when did you get here? You could have pretended not to see anything for just a little longer. Stop pounding the wall. You'll punch a hole in it. I was so close, too. Oh, there you are, Taka. It's the Restoration Festival today. We're all going together, right?
Oh, you're here too, Arimura? I bet the two of you were making out.
Making out? Ito, wash your mouth.
Sheesh. It might be a while before I get that kiss at this rate.
Miyashiro? Ready to go to the Restoration Festival?
Oh, yeah.
But let's go together.
Huh? I grabbed his hand and started to run.
We made a promise, right? Come on, let's go, Miyashiro.
Hey, wait.
Hey, no running off on your own. No running in the hallway.
Is that the problem here? Yeah, I assume that I don't know if maybe she just didn't like his wording, or yeah, there was some other thing that got weirdly translated there.
He was right. As long as I was with him, I could keep going forward, even in a world of truth and lies. Because when he'd come to save me, I knew. I knew that his feelings were true. So, thank you, Miyashiro.
All right. I guess that was the bad. Yeah, that's the bad end. So, I guess let's try to get the good end now? Okay. So we're gonna start doing all our positive things. This was just like,
Miyashiro,
no, wait. Did I really not? Minamikata had said it after all. If you pin a woman, oh, this is when we have her pinned on our bed. Oh God. Can't wait for this positive delusion. Yeah, I don't know if the good end is the same, but we don't get stabbed. I guess we'll find out. If you pin a woman down, she'll do whatever you want. And she actually wanted you to. I didn't actually believe it, but maybe it was true and I just didn't know it? Then maybe... I mean, we never did solve the New Generation Madness murders, so... I don't know. Actually, there was a whole special on it, wasn't there? It was the July 1999 issue, I think. That bratty little girl a year or two younger than you was actually just waiting for you to make a forceful move. A forceful move. That meant... That's right. I'm actually responsible for everything that happened.
Huh? Everything?
I mean everything, including that woman back there.
What? Then you were the one who told her to attack us? But why?
I assume she's not going to rip her face off in this one. To bring you here, of course. I grabbed her by the wrists and pinned her to the bed. Oh, I don't know that I want the rest of this good ending.
To bring me here? Does that mean...
For some reason, Arimura didn't resist. She just stared back into my eyes. You know what it means, right?
But I can't believe you're the kind of person who would do that.
Despite what she said, her eyes were dewy and shining in the light of the fluorescent bulbs above, apparently ignoring that our head would be in where the whatever. As proof.
But I like guys who are forceful like that. Cool Cat Press was right. All hail Cool Cat Press.
Arimura.
Miyashiro, take me.
Okay. Yeah, that's not happening. Wait, didn't I think about this once before? Man, I never learn, do I?
Miyashiro, if you don't get off me, I'm going to scream.
I'm sorry. Yeah, Cool Cat Press is going to the hydraulic press. Okay, let's skip forward to our next new scene. I love how we either get laid or we get murdered. There is no in between. Apparently there's a reason why the French call it a little death. Okay. Now, if I remember correctly, Setika's calling us on having naughty thoughts. Oh no, we're trying to blow up her skirt. Oh god, why? I'd overlooked that. What a brilliant idea. But I couldn't do it here. No, but this might be a good chance to show off my powers. Yeah, truly the Haruaki Fuseishi experience. And what's more, Serika, this is your fault to begin with. Do you know how hard I worked just to move one tiny little object? I'd barely gotten a wink of sleep last night. It was the least she could do after all that effort.
Taku?
I see, I see. If you really want to see it, then I'll show you.
Miyashiro?
Sorry, but it's too late for regrets now. Curse your own foolishness for giving me the idea. No one could stop me now. Ah! I concentrated. Oh my god. This fucking nerd. A terrible, beautiful Excalibur appeared in the corner of my vision. The power welled forth from deep within me. Come, my Excalibur! Give me power! Behold! This is my Gigalomaniac ability. This is my power.
Huh? Huh?
Yeah, using the ultimate power, summoning a sword too short in their skirts. My power lifted up the skirt of every single girl in the school. Oh, we didn't need. Oh my god.
No! What's going on?
You can try to hold down your skirts, but it won't work. No one can stop my power. Did you see that? This is my.
Then this is Miyashiro's. This is Taku's.
That's right. This is my power. The scene around me was something out of a nightmare. No, a most wonderful dream.
Ah! Taku, stop it!
Every girl in the school was walking around with their skirts blown up now. Well, do you understand now?
Yes, you're amazing, Miyashiro.
Will you do whatever I tell you now?
Yes, we'll do whatever you say.
All right, then I forgive you. I slowly lowered my hands and the chaos around me began to subside.
Jeez, that was terrible.
Now, since you promised from now on, you're both my slaves, got it? Oh my god.
Yes, Master Takure.
You know what? I didn't judge him too harshly until that final you guys are my slaves. Now, Taka, come on, man. If only.
Hey, Seri, what's gotten into Miyashiro? Don't worry about him. He's always like that.
Yeah, and remembering that Sedika can read our minds the entire time, like, poor Sedika. Maybe that's why she became a serial killer, man. She does have to listen to what's in our brain all day. That is a punishment. Right. Yeah.
I'm into the part where you lift my skirt, not a fan of you lifting everyone else's.
Okay.
Miyashiro, ciao!
Hi. What Ito had been saying was evidently true. I could feel all the boys in class glaring at me. It made me feel kind of superior. Last time she tried to eat us during this one, so I have no idea what's going to happen now.
Oh, Seri's here too. Ciao. Ciao.
At some point, Siddika had started copying Arimoto's greeting. So, what brings you here?
Oh, geez, you know there's only one reason I would come here.
One reason?
Prince Takaru, I've come for you.
Oh, okay. Can't wait for this one. But Prince? What was she talking about?
So it's true that you've lost your memories then. I guess I'll have to explain. I can explain, Taka.
Onoe.
I've never told you this before, but we're actually aliens from the planet Gigalama, 3.6 million light years away from Earth. And Taka, so are you.
I'm an alien?
That's right. The planet Gigalama is split into 6 kingdoms. 5 of them consist of only women, and the 6th, the only one with men, is yours, Prince Takure.
Kurisu, what are you talking about? Are you feeling okay? Have you gone nuts?
I know you may find it hard to believe, but it's true.
Even Kunosato. So many questions. Yeah. This is like the Gerudo town in The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Except for the fact that, like, at least that one eventually somewhat makes sense. This one, yeah. What? Wait, that's not Kunosato's personality. It's like, what is going on here?
We're all princesses from these countries, and we've all come here in hopes of becoming your queen.
Oh, God. He thinks he's the main character of an otome.
But Prince Takuru, when you first came to this planet, you were caught up in the earthquake that took your place in the city and lost your memories.
Yeah, and slavery is totally legal in the kingdom you come from, by the way. Wait a second. I'm having trouble keeping up with all this.
We all decided to wait until you got your memories back, but no more. It's time for you to choose your bride. Our countries and the whole of planet Gigalama itself are in danger of destruction. Prince Takuru, I want you to marry me, maybe.
Kazuki, you too?
I want to get married too.
Even Yamazoe? Takuru, no. Bad.
Do you understand, Prince Takuru? If you understand, then choose me as your partner and give me a passionate kiss as sign of your love. Wait, no cutting in line, Non. I'm the one who's best friends with Taku. Right, Taku? You'll choose me, right?
No, wait. This is all too sudden. Yeah, we're definitely turning down Mio and our little sister. Like, at least Mio is of age.
That's not true. I know Miyashiro's in love with me. Right, Miyashiro?
Oh no.
Oh, wait, he belongs to me.
That personality just does not fit you.
He's mine. Maybe. No, he's mine. Taku's mine. He's mine. No, he's mine.
Yeah. When does Henry show up?
Mine. 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 Mine.
And all of those sounded the same, and I apologize. Wait, calm down, everyone. I love how there's supposedly 6 planets, one that we're the prince of, and they're all supposedly princesses. Someone's math is not mathing here. Yeah, the seagulls in Finding Nemo be like, everyone was looking at me.
Who will you choose?
What do I do? How stupid. A prince? What the hell is wrong with me?
Miyashiro, are you listening?
Huh? Oh, yeah, I was asking why you'd come here. That's true. Kingdoms can't have more than one princess. And I guess we did think that Hinae and Nono were sisters, so... Our date. Okay. I assume now that we're doing our positive delusion, we're not going to have a delusion of the entire city hearing about our bad restaurant picking. That's right. This was perfect. I had my eyes on a couple of restaurants just in case this happened. At times like this, it was important to pick a place that a girl would like. That was what a normal boy had to be able to do. The problem was that there were too many good options to choose from. There was the time to consider, the location, and the weather and the temperature. Cool Cat had insisted that I take all of these into account. At this hour, every place would be pretty crowded. We should go someplace pretty light then. For example, something we could buy and then walk around and eat. Which meant, yeah, you are indecisive about restaurants, a clear sign of virginity. Here? Yeah, their caramel popcorn's supposedly good.
Wow, you know more about trends than I would have thought, Miyashiro.
Well, I am a normal. Oh, hold on, I'll go buy us some. Here you go.
Wow, it smells so sweet. That looks great.
Come, let us eat.
Let's eat. It's so good. What is this? It's delicious.
Right? I hadn't spent the last 2 days looking it up for nothing.
You have some too. Here, say
Huh?
Well, is it good?
Yeah, it's good. I was stammering.
All right, now it's your turn.
Huh?
Uh,
Uh,
wow, that's good.
why was this so exciting? This was totally different than going shopping with Serika and Kurisu. Was this what a date was like?
Oh, your hands are covered in popcorn dust.
Oh dear God, is she going to lick our fingers? First date, man. First date. Yeah, it'll taste even better when I feed you with my mouth. Oh, you're right.
Here, let me see.
Huh? Before I could even think about what she meant, she grabbed my hand and stuck my fingers in her mouth. I knew that was coming, god damn it.
Now they're all clean.
Did the normals do this sort of thing all the time?
Hey, Miyashiro, I want you to come shopping with me.
Shopping? Okay.
Yeah, actually, there was something I was thinking about buying.
Something she was thinking about buying?
This way.
She wouldn't tell me what it was that she wanted to buy. But we kept going further into an area meant for girls, and I was starting to feel more and more awkward.
If we ate a heavy lunch, I wasn't going to do this. I'm glad we got something light. Oh, here we go. This is it.
Huh? This is... Is this a lingerie store?
Don't open your eyes yet, Miyashiro.
Okay.
Okay. All right, go ahead.
Oh, absolutely. He would interpret it like being fed like a baby bird. Oh my god, Takada. Girl, when you wear the swimsuit, you do have to tie it.
Miyashiro, what's wrong?
This isn't allowed, is it?
It'll be fine as long as nobody finds out.
Still, was it really okay for us to be in the same changing room in the swimsuit area together? I know this. There's a word for this situation. I think it's sneg. Sneg, short for sore nante eroge, or what kind of H game is that? Internet slang used to refer to situations commonly seen in hentai games.
Anyway, Miyashiro, I need you to tie it up for me. Otherwise, the suit's gonna fall off.
You're sure?
You need to do it quickly, or
I don't know what that sound was, and I don't want to know. Yeah, it's called public indecency. That's the word you're looking for. No, that's not going to happen. But it might be something close. It is not going to be something close. Sorry, Takada. I love how we think that's just what normals do. Alright, now someone starts trying to kill her. Nono's excited about our first girlfriend. Almost just said first boyfriend. Alright, I started to feel awkward. But it wasn't a bad awkward. It wasn't that bad at all. It was kind of nice. Oh, right, your injury.
huh?
You said it wasn't anything bad. Was that true?
Oh, right, I'm fine. See?
Arimura lifted up her skirt to show me. Last time we imagined vines coming out from under there, which means Takura needs to study some more anatomy. I saw. Huh?
I've actually been planning to tell you this for a while.
I'm actually a boy. Oh my god. After I just almost called her our first boyfriend. I was psychic. I was stunned. I didn't expect to see a bulge beneath Arimura's skirt.
But in my heart, I'm a girl. Believe me.
Well. Yeah, I think it's Utanari. I think. Well, I guess after what I've seen, I have to believe.
You're just the person I thought you were, Miyashiro. You're so nice.
Am I?
Yes. Miyashiro?
Arimura looked straight into my eyes. She was a girl, no matter how you looked at her. But her body... Oh, what?
If you're okay with who I am, make me your lover.
I looked closely and saw that her shoulders were shaking. Is it full? Is she full transgender? In this? Like, is that how you would interpret that? It had probably taken all of her courage to say that. I don't know, like, when we say her body, like, how much of her body we're talking about here. Or whether that even actually matters. And I said...
Miyashiro?
Sounds great to me.
Huh?
You're perfect. You're the ideal lover I've always wanted, Arimura.
Really?
Really? I don't know how to take that.
I'm so happy.
Arimura leapt forward and grabbed me. Her body was a little more muscled than I had expected, but it felt great. And, okay, yeah. Yeah, I think you're correct. He's not virulently transphobic. This was not how I expected this scene to go, quite honestly, but... Arimura.
Yeah?
It's poking me.
I'm doing that on purpose.
There we go. That's why we thought of her giving us Yowie to voice. Like, the the pieces are starting to come together. No, no, no. What was I thinking? I'm not into that. I don't know. That's our second one that we've had thinking about someone else like that. Because remember, we had that weird thing with Ito that I try not to think about. Like, that is good to know. I did not know the boys cannot do that on purpose. I don't, I don't exactly know how that works, but oops. When I came back to my senses, I was looking straight at Animura's healthy thighs. So we do not have a transgender lover. Disappointing. Although technically, we never saw anything that disproved it, I think. So I could be wrong. All right. Where are we going to end up next? I love how, like, just going through these crazy scenarios is going to give us either a bad end or a good end. All right, dead brother. Almost kills us the Shibuya scramble crossing. Yeah, I mean, I hope it's just him being accepting. Like, to be fair, he fetishizes the like pretty much anything that he doesn't understand if you think about it. So I do think it's just him being accepting. He's just odd. We've spent this much time with him. I think we can call him odd. All right. I think we're going to get to this ending, considering the fact we just saw some of this earlier. That's true. He did show a lot more understanding of it in that delusion than expected. So look, he's at least somewhat bi, I would say, at the very least. Okay, we got to the same ending. Oh, there we go. Okay, November 21st, 2015, Saturday. Trustworthiness Investigation Company Frisia. Exactly. He's too woke to be Zuckerberg-kun now. Everyone's here, right? Shinjo looked around at the assembled group before he spoke. It was a Saturday morning and early, but there were still quite a few people here. This is an odd assembly of people. I assume there must be more than these four. Katsuko Momose, the CEO of Frisia. Mio Kunosato, a student at Hekiho Academy and the famous K of Shibuya News. Shinji Ito, part of the Hekiho newspaper club. Okay, there's some more people that I was expecting. Nono Kurisu, Hana Kazuki, and Serika Onoe. None of them looked happy to be here. They all had a vague idea of why they'd been brought here, but they still seemed to be afraid of what they were about to hear. Shinjo didn't feel much different. Shinjo slowly began to speak with the same expression of tension on his face as the rest of them. We've found Hinae Arimura and Takuru Miyashiro. How is this the good end? What the fuck? Shinjo began to tell them what the police had learned about what had happened between me, Arimura, and her mother on November 4th.
Please, Miyashiro, don't die.
After her mom had stabbed me, I was lying on the ground with my head in her lap. Even now, I still remembered how hot her tears had felt. Arimura. My consciousness gradually began to fade. Arimura, I. So it seems like the bad end is just you don't get to find out what happens after. And then in the corner of my eye, I saw her. Huh? It was Arimura's mother. I thought she'd left, but she hadn't. All sanity was gone from her eyes. I saw a sharp flash as she raised her hand high above Arimura's head. Arimura! With all the strength I had, I pushed Arimura down and covered her with my body. A burning pain ran down my back. Again and again. Miyashiro! Again and again and again. Pain.
No!
Screams. Mad laughter. A horn. The sound of a train. Light and shadow. By that time, I didn't even know what was going on. All I knew was the sound of something hitting the ground. The sound of dragging feet. And
Miyashiro! Miyashiro!
Arimura's sobs. Arimura. I tried to speak, but I felt unbelievably weak. When I finally did, my voice was barely a whisper. But I still used all the strength I had. I had to tell her. I had to tell Arimura. Arimura.
Miyashiro!
I'm sorry.
It doesn't matter! You don't have to talk!
But if I don't tell you now, I won't get the chance.
No! I don't want to hear it!
I think I loved you.
Miyashiro?
Really?
Yeah. I know. You're telling the truth.
I'm glad.
Miyashiro? No! Come on! Miyashiro! Don't lie to me like that! No! No! Miyashiro! No!
After the stabbing, Megumi Arimura was found by a police officer walking down the street, covered in blood. But unfortunately, she's lost her mind. I'm told we can't get anything out of her.
And what about the two of them?
You're aware that Hinae Arimura and Takeru Miyashiro both vanished from the scene, yeah? Shinjo took their silence as a yes and continued. For some reason, despite our best efforts, the police were unable to find them. That is, until yesterday. The two of them had gone into hiding in the sealed basement beneath AH Tokyo General. The place had been locked up tight. There was no way anyone could find us there. In fact, we'd stayed down there for almost 3 weeks.
But the two of them are safe, right?
Well,
About the two of them.
Konosato picked up where Shinjo hesitated. She'd already heard, it seemed.
Hinae Arimura is presently being held at the hospital. When she was found, she was holding Takeru Miyashiro in her arms. But it had been 2 weeks since the time of death, and the body had already rotted and partially calcified. Parts of the body, I'm told, were missing as well.
I could see them all gasp.
And Hinae Arimura was holding his corpse closely and continuously talking to it.
That's right. I died right after that. It was understandable given how many times I'd been stabbed. And the next thing I knew, I was in that hospital. My body was there, unmoving, and Arimura was holding me. I didn't know Arimura had gotten it down there, but she'd probably helped her.
Miyashiro!
Arimura was talking to me happily.
Miyashiro, I have a request.
She seemed to think she was at school. She kept saying the same thing over and over. Yeah, I thought that might be a delusion. I was sure she was hearing my voice as well. No, not just me. Serika was there, and Kurise, and Ito and Kazuki. What she was seeing was
What Hina's seeing is the real world.
That's Siddika for you. She knew exactly what I wanted to say. Yeah, that was the real world. It was the real world that she wanted, and she could hear them. Voices without lies. And I knew, now that I was a part of her.
Takuru.
Siddika softly touched Kurusu's hand.
Don't make that face. I'm sure Takuru had a good time too. Right, Taku? I'm right, aren't I?
Everyone looked out the window and up at the sky. How strange. I'm right here. But what Siddika said was right. This was for the best. My voice couldn't reach her anymore. But she had the world she wanted. She had attained a world of truth. And she was still whispering in that empty room.
Thank you, Miyashiro.
All right, and we've reached the dark sky end, which is Hinae's good end. We are a ghost now. All right. So we are going to end here for tonight. But to give you a little bit of a sneak peek, I'm checking who our next route is because I don't have that memorized. I didn't realize we were going to get here tonight. I mean, if you think about it, from Hinae, like, she is kind of in a good end. Like, she gets the world that she wants to be in. But yeah. Okay. So next route is going to be Hana. So Hana Kazuki. So yeah, she does get the true end instead of the false end, which, you know, is very good for her. So looks like there's other things that we have to trigger on the rest of these. So all right. So we're gonna end here for tonight. Next stream, probably going to be Sunday. I think I need to rest my voice another day. I made it through this stream though, without having to change anyone's voices. So that's something. Yeah. I don't have any other announcements. So have a good night. Thanks for hanging out. Hope you enjoyed, and be back on Sunday. Have a good night, all. Bye.